Hi, beautiful community. Welcome back to another podcast with Shruti Goel. She's a self-love and empowerment coach, and I am Ivania Leong, and I am a self-love and mindset coach. And we are so excited to bring this song to you today. And it's short, but it's so powerful that you're gonna feel it to the bone. Like Shruti said, to that core. So, Shruti, can you tell us a little bit about this song?
Yes, it is the beautiful song called How Could Anyone Ever Tell You? And I specifically learned about the version sung by Shaina Noll. And it is one of these songs that is simple yet so profound. And stay tuned till the end of the episode because I would love to share an energy medicine practice that anyone can do to deepen and begin their own self-love journey by doing this exercise called the Nine Hearts exercise. And it begins to help us, in our words, generate our joy. And I think that is so important in the world that we're living in right now. And so my exposure to this song was as part of an energy medicine course that I was doing, and our instructor sang this song to us at the end. And, all of the participants were in kind of a group hug, all of us women. And it was one of the most profoundly healing and uplifting songs to sing to ourselves and to each other. And so I think it's a rare gift to share with all of our audience here. And without further ado, I want to jump right into it because it is amazing. And I hope that you all will take time to both listen to the music and then follow along with us to appreciate the depth in the lyrics. So it says, "How could anyone ever tell you you were anything less than beautiful?" And I think there is some kind of power in posing this as a question. Like, how could anyone ever tell you? Because, of course, in the world that we live in, we are used to being criticized for when we do something that's considered less than perfect. In someone's eyes, people are quick to judge rather than give acknowledgement. And so, for the person who has written this song to pose this, how could anyone ever tell you? Meaning it brings into doubt, kind of the intention of someone that's trying to criticize you. And again, constructive criticism is great. Something that is intended to help you grow is not what is being discussed here. It is more someone just saying a cutting remark or being mean because they're motivated by their own pain. And that kind of person, how could anyone ever tell you that you are anything less than beautiful? Because when you're able to look at who we are at our core, there's a quote that I've come across previously, which says something like, "We are all made up of stardust," you know. And when we look at ourselves at that core level, when you look around, how could you find anyone to be less than a miracle in this world, And it doesn't matter how they look physically, it doesn't matter what their abilities and capabilities are. It doesn't matter what their accomplishments are. They exist, and that is why they are a miracle. That is why they're beautiful. So these two lines especially have a profound impact on me and have triggered me to tears in a positive way every time I've listened to this song. And
It,
I'm yeah. How about for you, Ivania?
yeah, no, thank you, Shruti, for that wonderful, reflective information that you had on your own.
Yeah,
And I never heard this song before.
yeah,
And I love it because there's something that you put up front, and then I'll take it in, and right away your mind starts working.
yeah,
But not only that, I think also you cannot rely too much in your mind
yeah,
because we be like you mentioned, like we've been so conditioned, people telling us who we are and then not allow us to be who we want to be. And then if I like it's that to me, if it wasn't a song, I think it would be like more like an investigation, like a poem on yourself
Yeah.
that it says, how could anyone ever tell you? Just that it puts you in a state of, wait a second, what does
Yeah.
this mean? So
Yeah.
you break the cycle of going on life, floating, like following the herd, in for the lack of the better word.
Yeah.
And this one, it stops you. I said, wait a
Right.
second, this is not how it's supposed to be. There is another way. And I love that because then you start reflecting like, how could anyone? And anyone, when I what comes to mind is your parents,
Mm.
your teachers,
Yeah.
your the ones that take care of you, if somebody took care of you when you were a baby or toddler, society,
Mhm.
the government. I mean, you name it, your friends,
Mhm.
extended family, and not influencers now,
Yeah.
and that they're trying to tell you who you should be.
Yeah.
But this one is more in pushing into a question
Yeah.
and say you were anything less than beautiful. And I love that because when you start reflecting, you were anything less than beautiful. And you start that research and say, well, what does that mean?
Mm.
And that's in you, the meaning you start to looking inwardly
Yeah.
and you're gonna find the meaning. So you're gonna erase the meaning from the outside because everyone has a different meaning in life, depends where they're born, depends on the environment. I mean, we can name a lot of stuff,
Yeah.
but it's beautiful within you.
Yeah.
And I think it's a good entrance because we are going inwardly and disarming ourselves of what we know or what we think we know. So yes, very, very powerful. And like I said, just going into reflection mode and questioning it to try to get in contact with your higher self. What is the higher self is trying to tell you?
Yeah. Well said.
Yeah. So I'm going to move into the other sentence where it says, how could anyone ever tell you you were less than whole?
Mm.
And wow, like to me, when I heard these two sentences, to me, it brought me back into we're looking to become whole, not knowing that we are whole.
Yeah.
But I think what we're missing when we don't feel whole is that noise is so loud from outside that we think we're not a whole because we need certain things or certain personalities or certain um or the expectations as well in their eyes, in
Yeah.
their opinion. So they make you feel less because they feel less.
Yeah.
So when a person really start to understand that self-love is so important, then you start to become more to feel that whole that
Mm.
that is not feeling it, is revealing to you that
Mm.
you are whole. But we are in this beautiful journey that is called life.
Mm.
And life gives you these wonderful adventures, challenges
Yeah.
that makes you realize that you are whole. And when we start believing in ourselves more, when we start doing the practice of self-love, when we start shifting our mindset, when we decide, we choose what to believe or what not to believe.
Mm.
But when we do that and we living by our own example, then the people that come across with us, they see their own reflection that they are whole.
Beautiful.
But like I said, this is a journey. We discover more and more about ourselves. And the rest we had to understand because they haven't realized that they're whole yet. So that's what they're projecting.
Oh my
So
gosh.
that's what comes into when I was reading to because I mean, and we can just go deeper and deeper and like different layers. But to me, that what speaks to me from the top of my heart. That's it.
Wow. That was beautiful, Ivania. And I loved the exploration and how you talked about, kind of the wholeness revealing itself to us. in the course of our life. And I resonate with that so much, you explaining it like that. And it was really brilliant how you were talking about, the fact that wherever we are along our spiritual path, and I think this is so important for each of us to take the responsibility to begin our spiritual journey, to begin a journey to self-love. And I think, before we can do any good in the world, we first have to want to do good for ourselves, but not in a selfish way, in a self-full way. And how
Mhm.
we do that is this, realization that we have been whole our entire lives. And it's just that we continue to grow. It's a thriving mindset rather than a lack mindset, right? To take
Exactly.
a page out of your book as a purpose coach, as a
Yeah.
mindset coach. And I really love that because how could we ever meet the magnificence in someone else and see their wholeness
Mhm.
if when we look inside ourselves, all we see is pain and lack? Uh,
Yes.
so I think this is a really powerful reminder. And I just want to add here that again, asking it in that question form, how could anyone ever tell you that you were anything less than whole? uh, makes it kind of a certainty like, hey, this is a truth that
Mhm.
you're here to discover through, like you were saying, the adventures of your life. And so I
Yes.
love that. And in fact, this truth is so powerful that it's actually part of my coaching philosophy as well. So whenever someone works with me one on one, they come to know this mantra, which is called Sampurnaham. And Sampurnaham is this beautiful Sanskrit shlok that says that I'm complete in every moment, you know? And so often when we're trying to go to therapy or we're trying to see a coach or we're trying to do something to improve and move forward in life, it can feel like we're trying to fix ourselves. And I just want to urge our audience to think bigger than that. There is nothing to fix. You are who you are, and you are here to be a beautiful and unique part of this universe. And there is nothing to fix. But what we can all do is that we can continue to thrive and grow in different directions. And I really think that if we could take that approach, then things like coaching and therapy and coursework that we do will feel like a beautiful extension and expansion of
Yes.
who we are.
Yes.
And so I just want to share that as well. And thank you, Ivania. That was really, really powerful.
Thank
Uh,
you.
yeah,
And I just want to add also when you say we're bigger than life, I love what you said that it would bigger than life because when that's why we do this podcast
yeah,
because we're exploring different perspectives,
yeah,
different way of looking at the words and at the music
yeah,
because we're so caught up with these noises from outside, but
mm,
then we question it
yeah,
and we ask, well, what do you think? Or how do you see it? What do you feel? And when we start asking, how could anyone, then you broke the cycle of
yes,
going like a robot, like doing it again and again and again. And you open the lid and you see that we're more than life, like you said.
yeah,
So I am so grateful and happy to be doing this podcast with you because we put in something, to our viewers that they can start questioning it on their own and they can create their own perspective because they can say, well, I agree with Shruti, but not really. I think it's more like this. And
that,
that's the twist and that's the beauty because
yes,
you're making it your own because you are expressing within
exactly,
throughout.
exactly.
So thank you for listening and if you like this episode, please like and subscribe because it means a lot to us and we really feel that we are connecting to you.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
yes,
Oh,
okay.
that was
So let's
well said,
continue.
Ivania. Yeah. And so I was just gonna share the next couple of lines, which is how could anyone fail to notice that your loving is a miracle? And again, I just love the way of asking that question, how could anyone? And saying it like this, like fail to notice, makes it, even forgiving towards the person who has maybe misjudged you, in the sense that maybe they have just failed to notice. But how could anyone fail to notice that being loved by you, whoever you are, is a miracle. And again, it's the kind of loving that feels nurturing. We also know that, loving can be taken to an extreme where it becomes obsessive or possessive or controlling. And so here we're really talking about that loving, which feels nurturing, which provides freedom in your life, which makes your life bigger than it was. And when someone is able to offer that kind of love to someone else, it is a miracle in the life of themselves and everyone who they touch. And I think that is really an important thing to notice in our circles is that when we are accentuating and increasing the impact of love, that's when we see our interconnectedness to everyone around us, right? Because it has this beautiful ripple effect. When I'm feeling wonderful, I will share the best of me with you when we're doing this podcast, Ivania.
Yeah.
And then through us, that joy, that love reaches all of our viewers. And hopefully, through our viewers, that joy, that love can reach all of their connections. And I think that that is really, the essence of being an awakened human being. And I really hope that the work that we're doing here, kind of becomes one of the cores out of which that true love, that true compassion keeps pouring out, for ourselves, but also for everyone that is touched by the work we have done. So I really loved the way that this was talking about how could anyone fail to notice. And if they haven't noticed, they should, that this loving is a true miracle because it can transform mindsets, it can transform people's journeys. And I can attest to this. I know you can as well. Just our podcast has changed, my life and has brought so much joy and so much creativity and so many new ideas into it.
In so many ways to connect with me and with the
Exactly.
audience and with the words that someone wrote, that a
Yes.
human being wrote. And not only that, but the music.
Oh,
But not only that, everyone who's listened to it and been touched by this.
yeah.
So it's like you said, a ripple effect of love.
Yes.
And then, what I wanted to mention here is it felt to notice. What came to me is that because we are in this wonderful journey,
Yeah.
up and down, that it is a lot easier to recognize that love within our family members,
Mm.
right? Because you live in it, you live this. They said the parents when we were kids, we live in every single day by our parents, and the love is there. The love is cultivating whatever way is being shown, but love it's there on the background, if not on the front. But it just depends on the parents and the relationship. But what I wanted to say that is that people from the outside they felt to notice your love because they don't have the daily day connection. However, we've been evolving within our own love that when you go out to the world, it doesn't have to be one person, but you show that love to every single human being possible.
Exactly.
And that's the connection. And
Mm.
not everyone is going to be able to see that.
Mhm.
And not because they don't see it, that does not mean that it's fail. It means that everyone is trying to see their own love.
Yeah.
And if so somehow the more love we put out to the world, the more other people's able to see or to feel that love. That's why we're here, to
Oh,
get to know ourselves more. Because the deeper we go, the more you become, because you are whole and you're trying to see what you're capable of doing or your abilities. And
Mhm.
like I said, with baby to today, if you look back, look what have you learned?
Exactly.
And everyone has challenges. I don't like to call it problems anymore.
Mm.
There are challenges.
Yeah.
And when they're presented by a challenge, what do?
Yeah.
You try to overcome it. You look for it. You
Yeah.
do something. So that what comes to me. And then sorry, yes, to add a little bit of the miracle. It's like to me, a miracle is that you're here.
Yeah.
And the thing is, you came as a whole.
Yeah.
That's why it's a miracle.
Exactly.
And I can go more into that. But I really want to finish the songs because I'm looking forward for the activity that we're going to be using soon. So, okay. I read the next two. It says, how deeply you are connected to my soul.
Hmm.
How could anyone ever tell you how deeply you are connected to my soul? I
Hmm.
like that because you asking that question to yourself.
Yeah.
You're not asking the neighbor, you're not asking your husband, your partner, your kids, no one. But when you are asked these questions, you start aligning
Yeah.
your mind,
Yeah.
your body with your
Hmm.
higher self.
Yeah.
And that's the conversation that we want to develop it even more deeply.
Yeah.
Because the more we connect with ourselves, we start to see that we are interconnected with everyone. And everyone is doing their best that they can at this moment because they are discovering themselves. And that's where compassion and kindness and loving comes in. Because the more you discover yourself that you are whole, then you're more compassionate, then you're more kinder, then you're more loving, you're more patient, you're more understanding. But not 100%. I think that we go by degree of understanding
Mhm.
because we understand it intellectually, but then physically and mentally is like not really fully there.
Yeah.
That's why we have to go little by little to understand them more and to be aligned with those three.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I think on this, when I say I don't know, means that there's more for me to understand. But
Yeah.
at this moment, this is my understanding.
Yeah.
And it's more, I mean, connected to my soul. It's, you will feel it, but there's no words to describe that.
Yeah.
What do you think, Shruti?
Oh, I loved how you described the different ways of kind of connecting these ideas and how the fact that there is so much more to explore in this song. And I love that. I mean, look at this. This song is maybe just 8 or 9 lines long, and yet there is so much profound truth in it. And there is this outpouring of love from the song itself. You know, there's a reason why every time I've listened to it, I have felt, an outpouring of beautiful emotion from the depths of my own heart. And I love this last line as a reminder how deeply you're connected to my soul. And it's almost like this line is being said to the universe at large, just as a reminder to say, you know what, I am connected to it all.
Mhm.
And I see this really as a transcendence,
Mhm.
so where we have been so worried about, well, what's going to happen to me and mine? This is an opportunity to transcend from thinking only about I to thinking about us
Mhm.
as a connected ecosystem, you know? And why does it have to stop at the level of our city or at the level of our country, but rather at the level of us as a planet
Mhm.
or us as part of a larger universe. So in that sense, I feel like this song is has a sense of an echo to it. And it's like the echo of truth that can, reach different parts within ourselves, deep within ourselves, but also reach out as a hand of friendship to people around us. And, I can't help but also think that maybe this song and others like it can bring some healing to the people that are hurting right now. And because of that hurt, maybe causing hurt in the world.
Yes.
I think this is a real space, an opportunity for all of us to, do our part to become healed and so that we can step into the mindset that you were talking about, which is that you just, with every action that you're taking, with all of the work that you're doing, bring that joy and love and that mindset of growth into the world. Because yeah, we are already whole just by being here, just the way we are. Even though, we may have our different characteristics. Some of us are born without a specific enzyme. Some of us are born with what appears to be a certain kind of disease. But you know what? That is a challenge that we may have to overcome to reveal our wholeness to
Mhm.
us. And
Mhm.
so I love that. I love that idea. And also that this song can be a great way for all of our viewers to develop their own perspective. And it can be completely different than the viewpoint that you and I hold. And in fact, we welcome that. I think diversity is one of the greatest strengths of of what happens here on Earth, especially, I think. And anything that can encourage that way of thinking is going to help us heal ourselves and the world around us.
And what I wanted to mention to you also and to the viewers is that you were saying like this song, takes you to the core. You
Yeah.
call it the mirror. That's what they like,
Yes.
go to the
Yes.
mirror. And because the songs, whoever wrote it, it's in a state of growth. Whatever challenging is going to that person or whatever journey whoever wrote it was going through is pouring it into a piece of paper.
Yeah.
And when the music comes in, it elevates that song and
Yeah.
the words because now it's imprinted in your bones, in your
Yeah.
body.
Yeah.
And the vibration of it, all the song and that voice, it takes you to a state of reflection and it takes you in a state of looking at yourself that you are more,
Exactly.
a
Oh,
reminder. And
yeah.
I think that's why music is so important
Yeah.
in our lives because music puts us in different states. But you
Exactly.
have to choose the ones that elevates you, the ones that inspires you, the ones that it looks inward
Mm,
to you. So that's why we bring all these kinds of songs so we can put ourselves in the state
yeah.
because yes, life happens, challenges happen, but
Yeah.
when you're able to say, no, I'm gonna overcome this, I'm gonna do this, then you choosing to move
Yeah.
forward. And you're gonna be able to see opportunities, you're able to see how this song is able to put you in a different state of no, I'm gonna make this and I'm gonna make this happen. Or it's gonna say, oh, I am more.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna allow anyone to tell me who I am because that person that we are more than that.
Exactly.
We transcend. I love the word you use. We transcend of who we think we are.
Yeah.
And there's always a new you.
Yeah.
Like after this, when you listen to this podcast, it's gonna be a new you. It's not gonna be the old you. Because
Yeah.
now you have new information. Now you have a new perspective. Now you can create your own perspective. So it's not you anymore.
Yeah.
And you have a choice to make to
Exactly.
continue growing or to start or to believe the same thing,
Yeah.
reinforcing it. And I like how they put this, what do they call it, Shruti? They repeat the songs,
Yeah,
the
the chorus.
chorus. Thank you.
They've turned it into a chorus. Yeah.
The chorus, because it's, we like to call it mantras,
Yeah.
because it's not just that we're repeating it just for repeating it. No,
Yeah.
it's because we're trying to print that mantra in our core.
Yes.
We try to print it not just intellectually, but
Exactly.
physically, to
Yeah.
really feel it.
Yeah.
And anyways, I wanted to share that.
That was beautiful, Ivania. And yes, I love that expression that you feel this song in your marrow. And I think that's why it generates such a strong emotional experience and reaction for me, is that I feel each time I listen to it, it speaks to a different layer or level within myself. But on the whole, I find this song to be both just stunningly simple. If someone wanted to learn a song to sing to themselves or hum to themselves, and especially we find sometimes in our work spaces that this is where our self-love is most challenged because we feel like we're constantly on display or we're constantly open to, hearing feedback, some of it positive, some of it negative, and a song like this can bring us stability in that moment to say, okay, let people have their own opinion of what I'm doing. However, this is what my truth is.
Yes.
And I love that. So I hope that this particular song brings a lot of peace and joy and an opportunity for connection. And in my mind's eye, I imagine families being able to listen to this song together and really look at each other in your eyes and speak these words, speak love to one another. And
Yes.
oh my gosh, what an amazing society we would have if we could do this amongst ourselves and at the highest levels, in leadership everywhere. But before we go, I did want to share an exercise that I learned as part of my energy medicine coursework. And this particular exercise, it comes from Donna Eden. It's called Radiant Circuits exercise. And radiant circuits are these beautiful pathways within our body that can help us generate our own joy. And this beautiful exercise that I've learned is called the 9 hearts exercise. And what we need to do most in our life is to come out of autopilot mode. I think where we get really stuck as people is where we feel as though, oh my gosh, I have nothing that I can do to change how I'm feeling or what I'm experiencing in the present moment. And so this is what you can do. You begin by tracing 3 hearts that are going to start at the peak of your head. So you're just going to come gently to your chin and you're going to
Oh,
trace
yeah.
3 hearts right here on your
Mhm.
face. And bonus if you can smile or laugh as you're doing this. And then, so once you've done 3 like this at the
Mhm.
face, then you come to your torso and starting at kind of where your sternum begins, you're going to trace hearts around your torso, 3 of them.
Mm.
So that's the next 3. And take some deep breaths as you're doing this. And then the final 3, and you can do the sitting down or standing up, is you're going to start again at the top and go to the tips of your toes. And
Mm.
so you're tracing ever bigger hearts that cover your entire energy field and your body. So when you've done that 3 times, then the last thing that you want to do, hopefully your feet are grounded on the floor. You can bend down and just come up the inside gently of each leg. And you want to bring your arms up to your armpits and then just a little bit down below, right where the bra line is for ladies. And you're just going to do some gentle tapping right there. And what this is doing is engaging our meridian that handles compassion, which is known as the spleen meridian.
Mm.
And when we do this, and actually just pause and see if you feel some change in the sensations in your body. And so, for example, for me, I feel a tingling energy that is starting at the top of my head. I've become aware of where I am in space from the top of my head to the tips of my toes. And this is what I mean about coming out of autopilot mode. And when we do that, we're tapping into a kind of joy of just being alive. So I want to share this exercise. Again, this is something that you can do for yourself. You can share with your kids. You can share with older adults in your life. Um, you can do it together as a practice. And I think there's a real benefit to being able to do this. And maybe in future episodes, we'll have to do some more radiant circuits exercises together because again, these are some simple ways that we can tell ourselves the truth that we can generate joy for ourselves no matter the circumstances that are surrounding us.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. And I really like the fact that we started also to show
Yeah.
that there's an energy field around us, and we're able to translate that with our own energy
Yes.
to transform it. Like you said, no matter under what circumstances you are at, you have to choose
Yes.
whether to stay there
Yeah.
or to move into this exercise. What it made me feel is more peace.
Yeah.
And that's what I was saying, even in this song, you are more, because
Yes.
then you discover something more
Exactly.
of you.
Yeah.
That's why we are whole, because we discover it little by little
Oh,
what we
beautiful.
are.
Beautiful.
So thank you for giving us that exercise. And anyone, like you said, anyone could do it anywhere at any time, or even show it to kids, and you're already giving them
Yeah.
something that they can do when they don't feel okay.
Yeah.
So
Definitely.
yeah, anything that you want to share before we end this podcast,
Let's
Shruti?
close the episode for today. It was magnificent.
It was so beautiful, and I really love the exercise. Thank you so much for tuning in, and it means a lot to us if you like our episode, if you share with family members or whoever you think that would like this kind of a podcast and this kind of conversation. Please like us and subscribe, and see you next time. And like I always say, always create the lifestyle that you want to live.
Absolutely. Create your joy.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.